Hi everybody, this is Gary from Fruitwood Barbecue. From the Pacific Northwest. I decided to start a YouTube channel. I've watched hundreds of videos over the years and decided to, a lot of my friends and family ask me about my recipes. They seem to like what I cook, and I often write them down or forward videos, but in this case I thought I would do an actual demo on a short cook and see how it comes out. So wish me luck.
So if you're going to start filming, did you film that?
What I'm going to do today is some basic frozen chicken breasts that I took out of the freezer about an hour and a half ago. They're still not quite thawed, but I'm going to go ahead and season them up, let them thaw on the counter, and probably in a couple hours I think they'll be good enough to put on. I'm going to do 2 of them on my Weber Kettle using the slow and sear, and I'm going to do the other 2 on my Rectech 680 pellet grill. So I'll give you a look here. Just some really basic frozen chicken breasts. Okay, so I'm going to season these today with some Killer Hogs, the AP rub. This is a really, really good all-purpose salt, pepper, garlic blend, referred to as SPG often online. I use this on almost everything. I'm also using Cosmo Q's Buffalo Hot Wing Dust on 2 of these, and garlic parmesan on the other 2. I've transferred some of that into a shaker. And for a second coat, I've got some Harry Sue's all-purpose Pitmaster rub that I've never tried before, so I'm going to give that a shot today. I trimmed up the chicken a little bit. It didn't take much. Had some pieces and some fat that I wanted to just get off of there. So let's get to it. This stuff, a little goes a long way on a thicker piece of meat. You can get away with a heavier coat. I generally I want the flavor of the meat to come through. So I use this pretty sparingly. And I've noticed I get a lot better results when I hold the rub higher away from the meat to get a little bit more even distribution. Okay, so the setup I'm going to use today is slow and sear on my 18-inch Weber Kettle with I've got about 20 briquettes in the slow and sear with a small chunk of apple wood, and then I put 10 chunks in my my lighter to actually turn it upside down because it's just easier to put a small amount up in that I guess lower part flipped upside down. And then the other 2 will be done on my Rectech 680. I'm going to do the thin ones on this and the thicker ones on here. This thing is just an absolute amazing machine when it comes to holding temp. So I can delicately dial in to exactly what I want, keep a better eye on the thin ones, whereas I have to control the air more on this. I'm going to start out with the bottom vents open about half. And I usually always cook with the top all the way open if I can, to let some of the stagnant smoke out, and that seems to work good for me. So that's what I'm rolling with. If I need to shut them down a little bit, I'll do her. I'll see you back once I get them lit. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to mention. I've seen a lot of people put marks on the dial for the Webers so they know the position of the vents inside without opening up. Take a look. So I'm going to add those to these. This is a newer one, so I haven't had the chance to do that yet. So once this fires up, gets up to temp a little bit, I'll get the Rectech fired up and we'll get to cooking. Okay, so I've got these starter coals going here pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just dump them on top of the ones I put inside. Spread those around a little bit. usually always put the holes or the vents opposite the slow and sear so the smoke can roll up and out. And I'll let that cook there for a bit, and it'll take about 20-25 minutes to get up to temp, and then I'll fire up the Rectech. Okay, so the kettle's been on for about 25 minutes. I'm going to let it go another 15-20. Settle in. I'm going to cook at 275 on both. One of the things about the Rectech I wanted to point out that I really like is the giant hopper on the back, and it has two sections. So I have apple wood in one side, cherry wood in the other, and it automatically blends them for me. So being that it holds 40 pounds of pellets, it's really handy for overnight cooks or briskets, long cooks, anything you want to do. So just wanted to give a shout out to them for that. Okay, so it's been about, I would say, a total of 45 minutes. The Weber's cooking along at about 290 to 300, a little hot. I've got it dialed pretty far down, but it's nice and stable, so that looks good. The Rectech is nailed at 275, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that. I'll turn the light on here. Put these on. As you can see, they're not very thin, and once again, these were just cheapy frozen chicken breasts I got at Safeway. Put those on. Put these on the kettle. Put that one a little closer. And these even still feel like they're a little bit frozen inside, so we'll see how they turn out, but you can see I still got plenty of coals. That 30 coals seems like it was just enough. Put this back on, and I'll check them again here in about 45 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes since I put these on. As you can see, they're pretty thin. I'm not going to turn them. This Rectech's been cooking at 275. We're sitting at about 149 on these. We'll take them up to 165, so those will sit there for a little bit more. And on the kettle, the thicker ones, about the same, 149. This is the thickest. It's a little bit lower temp than the others. I'm going to go ahead and move it a little closer to the slow and sear. By the way, I didn't put water in the trough for this cook on the slow and sear. Still got plenty of coals. Looking good. It's just nailed at, well, the temp went down when I took the lid off, but it's been sitting right at 290 degrees this whole time. It's amazing how steady these old school kettles can keep the temp. So hang in there, and we'll check back here in a bit. Okay, so it's been another 20 minutes, a total of about, I guess, 65 minutes. That's done. That is much thinner than that, and it still shows a little bit light on temp, but I'm calling it done. It still has a ways to go. It's only at 138. The thick one, 143. I'm going to go ahead and leave these on for a few more minutes. The outside is nice and crusty. The inside, I can see the juice that comes out. Whenever I probe it, give that a little shake. The coals are almost on, which means it's perfect. Perfect amount of coals. And I'll see you inside when we do a taste test. So, I just want to do a quick shout out. I've seen enough videos to know no one wants to hear anyone drone on. You know, I wrote a couple of sites down that I like to watch, but you know, Jeff at smokingmeat.com was my very first site that I followed, and I used still a lot of his recipes. And then he's not so much into video, but I think I found Malcolm next, and then Ballistic Barbecue. Greg over there was the very first turkey I ever did on my smoker. I used to have a Green Mountain Grill, and man, you know, it came out good, and things just progressed, and I started watching more and more. So, you know, you have to find your own soul. You have to follow who you want to follow, pick a few people you like, get the basics of seasonings and how this whole thing works. And you know, cooking with rye taught me a lot about adjusting the vents on my Weber. And Phil and Florence has the best video on modifications for your Weber Smoky Mountain. It's endless. This is a, you know, it's a hobby, and I just want to say I enjoy it, and I appreciate you watching this. And just get on YouTube and type in barbecue and follow some of these people, and you'll find out who you like soon enough. So, Happy New Year and cheers.